Welcome to Spirited Straight Talk, the podcast to help you thrive with the help of spirit. I'm Deb Shepard, psychic medium, spiritual teacher, and author. Each week, I bring new insights to help you heal from loss, connect with spirit, and turn setbacks into triumphs. So let's get started. As a medium, and I'm pretty darn good at what I do.
You really are.
I still want to see signs from my loved ones. And when I was putting my notes together for this podcast, I had a feather that came and landed on my lap as I was sitting in the living room. And I went, oh, hello. You remember when this happened to us?
I do. Yeah.
So today we're going to talk about 3 signs your loved one is around, to know that they're around, how they're showing. Because people want to know, how do I know they're around? How do I know they're here? And so
the feather that floated from the ceiling.
Yes. Tell the story. This was several years ago.
Yeah, this was quite a few years ago. Yeah, we were sitting in our kitchen area and a feather just floated down out of nowhere. We'd been sitting there for probably a couple hours working. And the feather just came floating down from the ceiling.
I remember our feeling was it was probably your grandmother. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't get a lot of feathers as signs for me. So when I see one, I'm like, okay, who is this? Where's this coming from? And when you have a reading with a medium, the intention for that is so you know without a doubt your loved ones are around. Because we question, are they really with me? Especially if you have a strong faith in some religion that feels like this is taboo, or you don't believe and you're very left brain, or you need it to be black and white. Perhaps you need it to be a ghost, an apparition that shows up.
I gotta actually see them.
I gotta see them to know it's real. And I get that. I get those things. A medium, a true good medium, will give you information with great detail so that there's no question in your mind. That helps the foundation for you to look for signs. Now, if you're highly intuitive, you're a person that feels this energy, you probably don't need that unless there's some healing. But your loved ones are around and they want to show you things. The whole thing is they're showing you signs in many different ways. And we're going to talk about the top 3 because these ones show up all the time. These ones, is that a correct thing? These are the ones that show up most commonly, but there are other signs as well. But I also want to give some insight about how to pay attention and see those signs and be aware of it and who it may or may not be, because I think people get attached.
Yeah.
You and I know when you're trying to prepare someone for a session, they're attached to hearing that 1 or 2 individuals,
right? And
they want signs just from them versus you can get signs from, being open to it. And yes, you can see apparitions and they can do a lot of different things, but I think it scares, I know it scares you. And I said, oh, did you see that? They've done a lot of things.
Did you see that guy walking across the sidewalk? Oh my God, don't say that.
Or moving stuff and breaking things and slamming doors. People go, oh, my house is haunted. I'm like, well, come to our house. We won't charge you to feel it all. So yes, they are energy. They love to let us know they're okay. So the top 3 signs, and then how to help you recognize these signs and what to do with it. First one is dreams. Dreams is because we can't control the narrative. In our mind, we get into analyzing everything. And so if we think of them or feel them, we go right down to the place of, well, maybe I'm just making this up. That's the big one. So dreams are a fabulous way. And we actually have you can sign up for my free dream workshop course. Yeah. So
on the website. Yeah.
That's a great way. It talks about whether it's a dream or not, or it's a visitation. Yeah. So that's really great. The next thing is electronics. As you and I know, electronics are a fabulous way. I see it a lot with young males that pass, love to mess with electronics. This happened today. I got a text from a student that said one of her clients had called her brother, and the brother said on the ID came up her son that had passed, and he did not have his information in his contact list. So she said, do you think this is what? And I said, well, it's probably her son reaching out.
Yeah.
So you may see where things come up in your phone. They love to mess with lights. I remember the first few years of doing this work, I told people I wasn't charging for my time. I was charging to replace all my light bulbs because they kept popping all the time. So electronics are big. Numbers and sequences. my late husband, we get to see numbers all the time.
Yeah.
To the point sometimes we're going,
can you leave us alone?
So numbers, you will see them quite often on a license plate, on a, you're at the deli and you pull a number,
Receipts.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you look at the clock at certain times of the day, it's the same numbers.
Locker numbers.
We have that with locker numbers. You're like, really? So numbers are a fabulous way. It could be their birth date. It could be the time of their passing. It could be their age, whatever. But those things,
numbers,
those things, sports numbers. So numbers are more frequent as well because we're around all these things.
So I wonder if you can set that intention.
I think you can set the intention. Absolutely.
Like if you communicate with them and say, hey, I know your favorite number was
yes,
so-and-so. So
I think you can't control them.
Right.
And you can't make it happen on a certain time frame.
So I want to hear it like 12 times a day.
Yeah.
But you can probably set that intention.
Set the intention. Like, I really want to know that you're around. Can you show me, your favorite number is 12 or 22. I know 22 is a number in our family too. And then you will start seeing it randomly coming there. Mm-hmm. I didn't put this as the top three, but pennies or coins can also be one. Yes. And sometimes you can look at the year of the penny or the coin, and it can be, a time or a number that's really important. But these are the top three signs. So there's a lot more. Like we talked about the feathers, butterflies, anything with wings.
Yeah,
I see anything with wings.
Dragonflies,
ladybugs.
Absolutely, those are common too. But
and what we like to say is, not every thing with a wing is a sign, because we get really attached to that. But it's being in gratitude when you feel it. And normally you'll see these things when you're thinking about them. It's an anniversary, you're having a hard time, or there's something really positive going on. So as we maneuver through all of these things, how do you get signs? And what we talk about in the dreams too is, if someone else is getting a visitation in the dream, it doesn't mean you're doing it wrong or they don't like you or they are upset with you. It's just where your state of mind is. And that's a big part of seeing signs. So for mediums like myself, we're not attached to your loss. There's no guilt. There's no shame. There's no regrets. Our job is just to be that channel to give you information. When it's your own personal loved one, there are so many layers of emotions that actually affect how you see the signs or recognize them.
If you even recognize them.
So if you can go to the place of having gratitude to how much you love them, or how much gratitude in your relationship, or whatever you want to do.
On the love you had.
Focusing. When you be able to heal some of that, it's actually a lot easier because you're more open to paying attention. Because think about the times that if you're in stress, you're not really aware of your surroundings. You're so focused on the end result or getting something done or getting something accomplished, you don't have the ability to view things that are happening. And so if your heart is extremely heavy, it's more difficult to pay attention because of the stress level. And that's why our medium my job is to show up, be the messenger, do my job, but I'm not attached to the stories. It's just to bring that clarity in. Also knowing that your loved ones, unfortunately, this has been a big issue. You don't get lottery numbers.
This is a big issue. If you're going to show us numbers, show those numbers.
Show those numbers. Okay. So those are the things, the boundaries. They're not watching you shower. They're not watching your relationships, things like, so people go like, well, do they see what's happening?
Yeah.
They're really not interested. Now they will, which comes through very often if there's plumbing issues, but it doesn't mean they're in your toilet or your shower. They just know that there's an issue because they want to know what's happening. They're not stuck. They're not mad at you. When people cross over, they don't carry those burdens with them. I always say the living are more stuck than the deceased. Your loved ones are not stuck. There's that, whatever reason people say, oh, I think they're really stuck. No, if anyone tells you that, this is where I get on my soapbox. They're not stuck. It's just where you are and they are, and how do you make that connection? Think about a time zone difference. If you're in, say, in the US and your loved one is in another country and you're trying to connect by a phone, there may be missed opportunities. It doesn't mean that they're not wanting to connect with you. The same with your loved ones. They may be in a different, let's say, time zone or vibration. It's just how do you make those connections so they're not stuck? They're just not having to do exercising or pay for taxes, right?
We're going to take a quick break to hear about today's sponsor, which is Grieving to Believing, a medium's mission to bring parents peace. Do you want to be comforted in the knowledge that there is life after death and your loved ones are still with you? Want to experience new levels of healing? Ready to turn your grieving into believing? If so, you don't want to miss G2B. That's what we call it. G2B is a YouTube show with the fantastic, fabulous Deb Shepherd, where she connects grieving parents with their children on the other side and brings through truly extraordinary and unbelievable messages that leave no doubt that there is an afterlife. As you witness the validations and healing messages that come through from these children in spirit, you too will experience new levels of healing, faith, and love. And you'll be comforted in the knowledge that your loved ones on the other side are also with you. To watch the show, visit debshepherd.com and just click on the show, Grieving to Believing, on the website, or click on the link in the show notes right below.
The more that you are happy and enjoy and have those good memories, the easier it is to see signs. They're there to say hello. I think a lot of times people think, I think I'm missing a message. I'm seeing and knowing that they're around. I have them in a dream.
They're trying to tell me something
They're trying
important.
to tell me something important. I'm like, no. First of all, there's boundaries. They may be wanting to let you not be in stress, not feel guilt. Don't worry about their things, whatever that you're concerned about. So if you feel like you're missing what the messages are, you are not. They're just there to...
They're there to support.
I'm still with you. I am okay. I am not stuck. I do love you. Those are the things that they're trying to explain to you. So yeah, you're not missing any opportunities. I think the big thing is paying attention. What I notice in the programs, the mentoring programs, is getting everyone to be mindful and pay attention and slow down and look at the messages. We are in a fast food drive-through society. We want answers. I mean, I think about, God, this is going to age me. During the time I was in the wagons, we had encyclopedias. No, you'd go to the library, whatever, to look up stuff. Now we have Google. We have instant information.
And we expect it.
Yeah.
We expect it more now.
Yes.
We have it. And so when I walk into a store, I better find what I'm looking for, pay right away, and be able to get out of there quickly or I get pissed.
And too much walking around means you're going to spend more money. So yeah, get out of there.
Especially if I'm in a flower shop.
Yeah, anything that's going to be like, oh, isn't that pretty? Yes, you've got to slow down. And this is what we talk about meditation and mindfulness and where your energy is so that you can see that things are going on and understand the metaphors. So in a dream, there are a lot of things that people feel that are disturbing when they're actually metaphors of the message that a loved one's trying to give you as well. I just thought of this one story that I love telling. Do you remember when I had done readings all day and we got in the car because I don't drive after I've been doing sessions and the radio kept turning to
the Spanish speaking station. We kept putting it back on a regular station and it would turn itself to the Spanish speaking station like 5 times, right?
I actually started videoing it on my phone. Right. So, and I don't want to miss the gratification of instant gratification, but when that happened, we started laughing. I said, I think this is about your family, right? This is your family coming through. I said, anyone's birthday or anniversary or something going on. So it was after I did reading. So my energy is still there. It's still like I'm really open to things. Sat in that car and it just kept going. And we just started laughing and knowing it's a sign. So sometimes people think, well, am I missing something? It's like, no, they're having fun with you. And I love humor, you know, so messing with the radio station when we have it on an English speaking station and going into when you and I don't speak Spanish and it kept going into that was the humor part of a loved one giving you a sign. That's the electronics and
showing that they're with us. They're around.
The thing with that is the instant gratification thing is we want signs when we expect them. And it's to remember that we can't control or make them do things. I think there is work that they do on the other side. So it's not like they're available 24/7, just walking around with wings. They are actually doing their own work. So they are trying to bring signs to let you know that they're around, putting it out there and taking your part by paying attention. Yeah. So expecting them and not doing your part is almost like calling someone from another country at the time when they're asleep.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
You need to make sure that you are like, okay, we're both going to talk at our hours at this time and be prepared for it. And to also, big one, say thank you. Even if you're not sure. So if you're that person that goes, well, what if I'm not sure? What I want them to do it 3 more times to prove it's really them. Okay, it's not a magic trick, first of all. If you honor that, you're going to start getting more ahas because they know that you're feeling it and knowing it and receiving that message. So if you get the goosebumps or a change in energy, and where it gets really cold, all of a sudden you're like, oh, someone's here. It's feeling those things randomly coming through and saying someone's here. The big thing is not to always expect the 1 or 2 people that you want to hear from. You may get a feeling of somebody else that may be someone you haven't seen in a long time, meaning a grandparent, or maybe it's a friend of yours that has lost their mother or someone like that. You may get that. Honor that because they know that you have a radar and that you are sensitive and you're hearing things. And when you give a message to somebody that you felt them, you will start getting more. It opens up that little door. Do you remember when we went to go see a medium and she kept coming to our area?
Because you were sitting there.
I didn't tell anybody who I was or what was going on or the person.
We just went to experience it.
Yeah. I like to see what other mediums do so I can learn and see what it feels like, those kind of things. So that energy starts coming. And she kept saying something like,
your loved ones are being naughty on the side of the room.
Which, of course, I would enjoy that. So, yes, when you start opening that vibration, that energy, and you start being open to others coming through, it's like magic. All of a sudden, it's almost like they can tell that you have a radar to the other side, and they start giving you more messages. So don't control, be mindful, be aware. When you see these glitches and the dreams, the electronic issues, sit back and go, I know you're here. Thank you. They're taking a little peek. They're letting you know that they're around.
That's cool.
So give yourself the opportunity to present these opportunities. And that sounds like, okay, what do I do? Make this up? Well, a little bit of it's making it up. You're in your mind. You are using your creative side, not your left brain.
Not making it up.
No, but you're using your imagination to open up that vibration of energy by having fun, being creative. So if you start seeing the numbers, start going, hey, so-and-so, I'm so glad you're here. It's having that fun, almost like imagination that's going on, the more you're going to see it happen. And I know you don't like the word making it up. It's not pretend. It's not fake. So that's why people sometimes don't trust the signs they're getting because they're thinking, am I making this up? No, but it's your left brain is going to tell you it's not, it's going to tell you it's not real, that you need more proof, that you need more validations, that this is not the right thing to do. Your right brain goes, wait a minute, this was kind of cool. It will help you continue to see signs.
When you talk about this, kids, first of all, see tons of signs, but they're open and they are creative in play.
Yes.
Their imagination when they're little constantly.
I've heard people tell me often, yeah, my 2-year-old sees my dad and they're playing. They're in the crib and they have cameras on all these cribs anymore in the rooms. And they're saying, yeah, they're in there talking and they'll see a picture and they never met grandpa and they'll point and start talking about him. I go, yeah, that's the imagination part. And yeah, maybe
your right brain.
Yeah, your right brain. The more you nourish that, the more you become creative. You're working in with flowers and you're painting or you're singing or dancing, all those things. Gardening is a great way for them to come through. It's really, people get so excited when they start seeing those dreams or start seeing the signs. And this is the other thing that just came to mind. It doesn't matter how long they've been gone. Some people feel, well, they've been gone a year, I can still hear from them, or they've been gone way too long. They've been gone 10, 15, 20 years. That doesn't matter. They're still, well, We know that from our experiences that they still hang around. They've been gone a long time. You're like, don't you have something else to do?
Aren't you learning on the other side?
Yeah, aren't you doing something productive? But it is that feeling of that chills that go up the back of the neck, the shift in energy. These are the top three, but also if someone mentions their name, and I was thinking about this the other day, one of our dear friends that had lost her husband, he has an unusual name, and she was thinking about him and some things that were going on, and the waiter came over with the same exact name, and she was just like, okay, wow.
Very unusual.
Very unusual name. These are the things that you want to look for that are hellos. And they will help you heal. It'll give you a sense of peace, knowing that you get to see them when you cross over, that they'll be there. And to also remember that no matter what your relationship was with them here, it shifts when they cross over. That helps you open up to here, because some people are afraid that they're going to be told negative things, or if they get a sign, that means they may be upset or things like that. Or if they're not getting a sign, it's because they're upset. And none of that is true. So they're there to comfort you. Mm-hmm. And we think they need to comfort because of what they've been through. They're actually there to help comfort us, to let us know that they're okay, that they're with us, they see what's happening, and they want to support us. So that's the great thing. Anything that you think would be helpful, because we've seen all the stuff in our house. How many times do we have things going on all the time?
The time.
And they're not our relatives.
Freak me out with stuff too.
Sometimes I'm like, it's time for you to leave and go be with your loved ones. We are going to actually do a class on this. So join my email list, because on this very topic, we're going to talk about a class that's going to help you.
Signs from your loved ones.
Signs from your loved ones. And it's more than just the three. So get on the email list if you don't have it now. Look for it. It's going to be coming up here soon. We don't have the exact date because there's a lot of moving parts, but please sign up and join us, because if you want to make that connection with your loved ones, this is a way to do it, and to trust that the signs are real. Thank you for listening to today's episode. I hope it inspired you. If you enjoyed our conversation, make sure you subscribe so that you get notified of new episodes. And let's get connected. Visit debshepard.com for more insights, support, workshops, and a book a session with me. And finally, always remember, your loved ones in spirit are just a thought away. Even though they're on the other side, they're always by your side.